Jagee's Cookbook. All of you, I'm really happy to present a very good show in front of you. And this time, yes, I'm going to go into pumpkins again. Why? Because pumpkins are in season. Right from October to December, it's pumpkin season. So that's why Halloween comes on this time. And also, I'm going to show you two dishes, pumpkin pudding and something to do with pumpkin seeds. Usually what we do is, as soon as we open a pumpkin, we usually discard the seeds because it's kind of difficult to get the seeds out. Now, pumpkin seeds are really good for you. First of all, pumpkin seeds are very good in lowering your LDL, that is your bad cholesterol, and also very good for diabetic people. The thing is that Chinese medicine, the Chinese folk medicine has said that eating pumpkin seeds actually reduces your blood sugar level. So all of you with diabetes, please be careful. Be careful not to throw the pumpkin seeds, but try to eat them. Also very good in reducing the enlarged prostate gland. So all men, please do take a point of that. Also very good for arthritic people. Very good for depression. Yes, it was old folk medicine used in America a long time ago for depression. So yes, do try to include pumpkin seeds, which are it's got a complex group of vitamin B, and it's got vitamin K too. Pumpkin as such has fiber, potassium, selenium, a whole lot of beta carotene, alpha carotene, and also it contains vitamin A. So all of it, which is very good for you. It also contains lutein, again good for your eyes. This time I'm going to show you a pumpkin pudding which is so easy. It's also a vegan recipe. Vegan recipe is a recipe which are meant for strict vegetarians. That is, they use no animal products whatsoever. So that I'm going to show you a vegan sort of pumpkin pudding, and also some roasted pumpkin seeds, which are a wonderful, nutritious, delicious snack just for you on Jagee's Cookbook. Now, for our pumpkin pudding, what we do first is we have to, it's gelatin based. So I've got around, we need around, for this measurement I'm going to say, we need around 4 teaspoons of gelatin, okay? So 4 teaspoons. Four teaspoons of gelatin, and then what we have to do is just pour. This is like 2 1/4 cups of coconut milk. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of coconut milk. I'm not going to use milk because it's a vegan recipe, and let this soften, okay? Just keep it for around 5 minutes and this will soften. Meanwhile, what we have to do is, I've got after I puree it, it's going to be 2 cups of pumpkin puree. Now, this pumpkin has been shelled, or it has been skinned, and it has been cooked until it's tender. Now, this is really tender, okay? It has been cooked well, and it has to be, that very ripe and orange pumpkin. Now, this has been cooked and cooled, okay? This is cooled very well, and now what I have to do is, I just have to puree it. Now, you don't need a hand blender. You can use any blender. I have a hand blender, so it makes things easier, okay? I just need this to be pureed well. Now you can add a little bit of coconut milk if you want to, but make sure it's just 2 cups of pumpkin puree. This is 2 cups of pumpkin puree. So just to aid it, I'm just adding a little bit of coconut milk. It's not milk, it's coconut milk. Now you can substitute it for milk if you want to, but if you want this to be a totally vegan recipe, you have to use coconut milk. So this is done. I have my 2 cups of pumpkin puree. Now what I have to do here is I light this, melt this. Now this has softened. Okay, you have to give it at least 5 minutes. Now the gelatin has softened. Okay, now you have to be very careful not to put high heat because gelatin doesn't work that way. Wait, I'll just pour this. And now I'll switch on the heat and be very careful. It should be very, very low heat. Otherwise, the gelatin will lose its activation. It won't be activated right. Add around half cup of coconut milk and let the gelatin really dissolve in the coconut milk. Make sure the gelatin is all blended well, and then what I do is I off the heat. To this I add around 1 cup of sugar. If you don't want it that sweet, you can add 3/4, okay? Just stir it along. Mind you, the heat is off. Just don't put on any fire right now because we just wanted the gelatin to melt, and that has done its job. Now all we need to do is melt the sugar in the half cup of coconut milk. Now I'll put my flavorings. That is 1 teaspoon of vanilla. That is if you like vanilla. If you don't like vanilla, don't. If you have vanilla sugar, go ahead. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder and a bit of nutmeg if you want. Now I don't have nutmeg, so I'm not going to use nutmeg, but it's not very necessary. Okay, now just put this aside. Very, very simple, totally simple. Remember our pumpkin puree. Oh, it looks so beautiful. And we pour this into this carefully. Carefully blend this. Because this is a vegan recipe, no eggs, no milk, no animal products have been used. Just vegetable products, that's it. And it has been gelled up by gelatin. And then what we add is 1 more cup of coconut milk or coconut cream. Simple, that's it. Totally finished. Now just mix the whole thing together and get a very shapely bowl, or any bowl, okay? Now I'm taking this bowl. So I get the shape of it, and I'm just going to pour this in, this mixture, okay, the pumpkin puree and the pumpkin mixture into the shape bowl, and I'm going to put it in the fridge. Now you can keep it in the fridge for around 6 to 8 hours, and it will gel up very well. But since I don't have time, I am going to put it into the chill, the deepest freezing section of my freezer, so that I can show you the product. Make sure all the gelatin and the coconut milk and the pumpkin puree has all been blended well. Check for your sweetness, okay? Some people don't want it so sweet. You will only want it, then 3/4 cup will be enough. I only add 3/4 cups of sugar. If you don't want that sweet also, you can add just half cup of sugar. But here, most of the people love it really sweet, and those who really want it sweet, 1 cup is enough. Don't go more than that, because that would be absolutely too horrifyingly sweet, atrociously sweet. Okay, now slowly pour this into a bowl Okay. And if you've seen some things which have not been dissolved in at the bottom of the bowl, mix it well, because otherwise it won't gel up properly, especially the gelatin. Yes, perfect. And now what I do is carefully, usually what you have to do is just keep it in the refrigerator, but since I need to show you, since it has to gel up really quickly, I have to put it into the deep freeze, and that too, the coldest part of the freezer. So carefully, okay, put it in the deep freeze section, okay. Now here I've got the quick freezer. And that will quickly gel up for you. Wait and see.